Hello! Right, today we're going to be putting together the Hexagon gift bag. Now, I just wanted to talk through the pieces that you get. So this is the piece that forms all the sides of the gift bag. And then you've got two options of how to kind of dressy the sides, I guess. So you have this layer. Now, when you cut this piece, if you'd like to cut it out of pattern paper, and then obviously you can see it'll just give you a small border around, but that will actually, if you cut your sides in plain cardstock, I always recommend using about 300 GSM if you're going to be doing any kind of construction. But then obviously then you can cut some pattern paper sides to layer over the top to decorate them. And I have actually got a my first ever pattern paper pack coming out with this collection, so it'll be perfect for working on your Hexagon bags. I don't have it at the moment. I've only got the proofs from the printers, so but it is on the way, so I can show that to you nearer the time. But if you don't want to put pattern paper on the sides and you'd like something a bit more decorative, what we've got, and this is my first introduction to my composites. Actually, no, it's not, because I'm filming this ahead of time, and you will have already been introduced to composites because I've got a whole range of them coming out, and predominantly for card making. But I've sized this one in particular to work. You cut it 4 times instead of like giving you a whole panel. I've given you this so you can cut it 4 times, and then that can form a decorative panel for the sides of your box. But what I worked out was if you cut this 3 times by 3 times and do a panel of 9, that is just a smidgen over 5.5 inches. So it works perfectly on a 6x6 card, and I'll be showing you that in another video. So I love it when pieces have more than one use. So this composite, you can use it to build up some lovely patterned sides on your bag, or use it in your card making, use it on any project. I mean, it's just a square that can build up, but I'll show you how we're actually going to use this later on to find the hole in the middle of I just realised there's a couple of dies I've not got out, but there's a couple of dies for actually forming a hole in the middle of your side, and I'll show you how to do that. So that's your side panels, and I'll show you all the pieces cut out in a moment. Now this is your snowflake design for the front of your card, and it really doesn't look like a snowflake, does it? It looks like just a loopy design, but it will actually form a snowflake. And this again is working on the composite idea. So you arrange your composition and it forms the whole design. Now for this kind of size of die, if I was to give you the whole snowflake to cover the front of your Hexagon bag, well, it just would be very expensive. So I've given you a portion, cut it 6 times to form like a hexagonal shape, and yeah, that will actually give you your decoration for the front of your Hexagon bag. So that's that piece. Now these 2 pieces, this one just looks like a smaller version of that snowflake, and it is, and this one is a piece that will layer over the top, so you can form a lovely layering snowflake. But I put those pieces in basically because I had room, and I do like to fill the gaps and get as much value out of the dies as I can. But when you're making your Hexagon bag, you can make a matching card. So these are the elements. I've got them layered up there. I'm not sure if you can tell the colour difference because the layer I put on front was very pale blue, so it looks, it's merging into that white a little bit, I think. But you can make matching cards, or in fact it could be a gift tag to put on your bag. So you can create, you know, ensembles. You can have the gift card, the tag and the bag all matching. And if you like this Let It Snow sentiment that I've got here, that is actually included in the snow globe kit, and I'll be doing a video on that. So we'll set these aside and we'll use those in our card video. Okay, just first to mention, these are the other two dies that I didn't actually bring out, but what we're going to do is we're going to use this one here, which is just a little circle die, and that's going to form the hole in the side of both sides of your hexagon bag, to pop a ribbon or cord or anything you'd like. And then this piece is to cut a little, you know, like when you get page protectors, you know, those hole protectors, that's the same idea. So I've cut one of those, or I've included one of those, so you can pop it on the inside behind the hole, and that will just strengthen the hole. Okay, so our first step is, and I've prepared some of these, but what you want to do is you want to cut this side panel. You want to cut that 5 times. Well, obviously there are 6 sides on hexagon. You want to leave the top one open, you know, to pop your gift in. So we just need 5 of those. So I've cut 5 out. Now, one of them you don't want to decorate. No, that's the hole. So I'm going to show you how we did that. One of them you don't want to decorate because it's going to be the base. But what I did, remember that layering piece that I said you can use to put pattern paper on the side of your hexagon bag? Well, I've actually got, I've cut one of those just from plain cardstock, and I'm going to pop it inside the base of my card just to add a little bit of strength. A lot of my projects I tend to line, but with this one I don't really think it needs it. But I did think, let's just, why not add a little bit of strength to the base. The sides have got either pattern paper or composites on them. The front and back have got pattern paper on. So they've all got, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this on the inside because it doesn't need to be seen. And because my lines are all scored, I can get that pretty central. Because it's the layer, it won't actually interfere with any of my score lines. If it was the same size, it might impede them bending up, but it's not going to do that because it's slightly smaller. So there we go, we've got a nice solid base. So the way it's going to work out, the way we're going to glue them together, is they're actually going to kind of be in a strip. So what you want to think is, you want one either side. See, I've popped my composites on, some of them already. Right, that's the wrong one. So what we kind of want them all linked in a row. The base is in the middle because that doesn't have any decoration on it. And then the 2 on the outside here, these are the ones that need the holes for the ribbons or cord, whatever you wish to use to go through. Now, what I did, because you can actually glue your composites straight down to your side panels if you like, but what I'm going to do with this one, because I want them joined up and separate. Okay, so I'm going to put my my little panel together first, so I can show you how to find the hole. I've got a really big roll of tape here, so I'll just take a little piece from it. Okay, so I'm just going to put 2 together at a time. Okay, and I'm just using some 3mm red tape. I found that between 3mm and 6mm red tape that I had everything covered actually in this collection. Especially as we get into the snow globe die. Okay, so I've done 2 groups of 2. Now I'll join these together. I just want to get them all one piece, and then I can add some glue to the rest of it when I go to stick it down. Okay, now because these have all got a cutaway corner on them, Oh, that's a bit reflective, isn't it? Because they've got a cutaway corner on them, they actually form a hole in the middle. So what you want to do, I'll show you on another one. What you want to do is you just want to place it on there, make sure there's a border all the way around, and then you can just mark a little hole in the middle. And it seems a bit strange, but actually it looks quite nice when it's made because of the angles of the bag, that the hole is actually going to be right in the middle of those top two panels. So just put a little mark or something there, and then when you take it away, you can pop that circular die where that mark is, and then cut that hole out. Then where's my little... Now I've cut out my little hole protector out, so we'll just pop that on the back. I think my pin's gone. Okay, so we've got our little hole protector. Just double check that I've done the other one. Yes, I have. Okay. Right, so now we can... Okay, I'll take my tape off first, because otherwise the glue will be drying while I'm trying to take this off. And you know how much of a fight sometimes red liner tape can be. Okay. So we'll pop that off and then we'll just dot some glue around. You don't need to go too heavy with the glue, because they're only small pieces. And this red liner tape will actually do a pretty good job at holding it down. The main areas, to be honest, that need a bit of glue is the outside corners, because the cross of the red liner tape is doing a pretty good job everywhere else. I'm just going to put a little bit around the middle of these flowers. Well, they're not really flowers, they're kind of supposed to be like the centre of a snowflake. This is where having a fine tip definitely helps. Okay, so all we need to do now is pop this over the hole and pop it down reasonably straight, you know, making sure the border is, I mean, the border will be even. You just want to make sure it's kind of at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so we've got all of our side pieces. So we can attach those together and then we'll work on our front and back. Okay, so there we have it. So then they all come round. You see, those are the sides where the where it goes, and they come round like that, and then you've got the hole at the top. So now we want our front and our back. Now this is where your nested dies come in. I don't put nested dies in, or basic shapes should I say really, in your collections, because your nested dies can do the job, and that cuts down the pieces you need for your projects. If you've got the nested dies, what you'll find is I've got, because this is the new collection with the Hexagon dies, and I did a collection with them last year, you will find if you've got this set of nested Hexagon dies that you'll probably have about 6 different project packs, and some of them have got 2 projects in. Like the snow globe, there's 2 different ways to do that. With the stacking boxes, there's 2 stacking boxes in that set. So you've probably got about 8 8 different projects that you can actually do with this one set of nested dies. Otherwise, what would happen is each of those different packs, I would have to put some of these in. So I'd be selling those shapes to you over and over, and that's not what I want to be doing. Okay, so we want the front and back of our bag. So what I've done, if I line it up, you'll see I used the largest of the hexagons. Now that is 8 inches from point to point. So that's your 8 inch. So when it says on the packet, your 8 inch die, that's what I mean. You measure point to point. And actually it's easy on that one because it's your largest. Now I've also put that you want your 7.5 inch one. And I wouldn't normally put down that you need them for the pattern papers, but I think it's really important in this set because I don't line this bag. So I think it's important that you put a layer on just to add to that bit of rigidity. So this should be, if I'm right, the second one down. So all you need out of this set to create this bag is your 2 largest of your nested dies. So we've got one for the front, one for the back. So we'll pop those together. Okay, so this is my front and my back. Now this is a busier pattern, so I'm going to use this for my back. And then because this one's a bit more subdued, I think my snowflake will stand out better on here. Now, when I did the composites for the side panels here, I stuck them together first with a little bit of red liner tape and then offered it up afterwards. This is the other way round. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to get a center point, and actually I think my center point is right in there because I think, if I'm right, I was a bit careful about how I cut it, but let's just double check. And then where they cross over is the middle. And then I've got my snowflake pieces here. And then what you do in between 2 of those marks is where you pop your first piece and then you layer each one around. Okay, so I've only dotted the glue around in a few places, and I've not done it on these tips so I can kind of use them as handles. But don't worry, because we can come back and we can pop some glue in. Right, I'm just sliding the last piece into place now. We can pop some glue in any pieces that look like they might be wanting to lift afterwards. Now you can see how big this decorative panel is, this snowflake design. And you can see why I've broken it up, because there's no way I'd be, well, can you imagine how big the die set would be if Well, especially if it had the hexagons in as well, and then it had this great big snowflake. Actually, let's have a look and see how big this snowflake is, because I haven't actually measured it. Alright, so that is nearly 6 3/4 inches. Okay, now some of these loops are looking a little bit proud, so all we need to do is get a little piece of cardstock or something. Actually, let's try a little piece of this. I don't know if that's going to be strong enough. This red liner tape, you know, the what do they call it? The liner, I guess. We'll just slide it under anywhere that we want to. I can't even get my nail under it. Let's just slide that under. That'll go. Don't know why I'm trying to lift it. Let's get a little bit of glue on there. So you can do this to your heart's content, make sure it's all down. But the thing is, if you put too much on each piece when you're putting it down, it can ooze out, and we don't want that. But we can always come along and tidy it up a little bit afterwards. Okay, so now that's on. I'll polish it up a bit afterwards. There's a couple of places where the glue was on my fingers and I've left little marks of it, but because it's PVA, it'll clean up lovely. Okay, so we've got our front now, and we've got our back. So we'll join them onto our side panels one at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my base panel first. And is there any particular way? Yeah, I want my design to be facing that way. Okay. So one by one, take these off. And stick it down. So if you can see from above, what we're doing is we're just making sure that it meets the edge, and then we'll press down on the inside. We'll do that for the last one here. I just like to be able to push down onto my desk, because sometimes you kind of do it in thin air and you're kind of pushing into nothing. So it goes together, this gift bag, in no time at all. So it's going to be such a great gift bag. I mean, obviously I want to do it with a snowflake theme because I think hexagons and snowflakes just work together, obviously both being six-sided. But this is a gift bag that is so quick to put together, you can use it any time of year. And I didn't make the side design overly snowflakey, if snowflakey is a word. So you could definitely use that at other times. But of course you've got the panels, so you can cut, you know, birthday pattern paper or floral, and pop that on the side of your bag. Just because it's a hexagon shape doesn't mean you just have to use it at Christmas. Okay, can you spot the mistake? I needed to trim this edge off, this edge here, and I didn't do it because obviously this side hasn't got one because the tab is underneath. So I'll just go ahead and do that now. But if I was thinking about what I was doing, I would have recommended that you do that at the beginning. Yeah, because if you did it beforehand, you can put it on a guillotine if you want. There we go. Just means you don't need that one. Okay, so we've got half of our bag done. Just need to put the front on. So again, we'll start with the bottom. I'll have a look, see which way up I want my bag to be, because I've got pattern paper in there. Yeah, I think I like it that way. Some silver ribbon. Pop this in the holes. Thing is, any gift you give in a bag like that is just going to already feel completely special. Just tying some knots. If you're using some thin ribbon, one trick is, if you've got any beads in your stash, thread it through a bead on the inside, and then that will help it. Otherwise you have to tie a few knots. Okay, I'm going to lay this down so it's easier for you to see. I've added some ribbon, could do with a little bit of an iron, but so it's got all your side panels are completely decorated, and you've got that great big snowflake on the front. Of course, if you wanted to add the snowflake on both sides, there's nothing stopping you, you can do that, but I thought it kind of like shows me where the front is, and I've just got some fun pattern paper on the back. Okay, and I just want to pop okay, so I just set that one aside, and I'll show you. This is a blue one I made, and I don't know if you can see there how I put some pearls all over the front. Okay, so on here I went for a darker background paper, and then I did my snowflake in white, and then the box itself I made from pale blue, and I cut the composites in white. So there you go, you've got two different colours, the same box. But yeah, it's a very simple box. It's very quick to do, and I think anyone to get a gift in that, not just at Christmas, but any time of year, would be absolutely delighted. I mean, obviously you can leave off the snowflake pattern at any other time of year. Add some floral paper, or maybe put some flowers or something on the front using my Blooming Anson range and doing a little floral arrangement on the front. You could add a sentiment if you wanted, but I just think, you know, with the craft stash that I'm sure you have, there's a myriad of ways to actually decorate the front without using the snowflake element, and it'll be ready for all year round.